Okay.
For Flabonga Monthrothacube, with Dale and Tony breaking all the rules, talking tech biz and straight up chaos. Quick fire guests, oh yeah, we slay those.
Love that little riff. Good afternoon. My name is Dale Rodriguez, and this is Flabonga Monthrothacube. With me today, I've got my fantastic co-host,
Zoe Lazy Cooper.
and we've got our average to middling guest,
Nick Pearmain.
Nick Pearmain. First of all, Nick, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Great theme tune, by the way. Like I was
Fantastic.
Thank you, Mark.
We laboured and toiled over it for several hours. Tony did the editing. I did the no, it's AI. It's AI generated.
AI.
It got made live on this show. Basically, we had a guy, Mark, come on, friend of the show, and he's like, "You guys need a theme tune." I think it's ridiculous that people charge tons of money for music, and literally on the show live, he made that theme tune.
It's really good. Very catchy. Very catchy.
Perhaps too catchy.
Perhaps too catchy.
And that's fine.
Right.
I was
Enough about.
fully ready for it to be rubbish as well when Mark did it, but I was like, wow, that's actually really good.
Hi, Kirsty.
Really good. Hey,
Kirsty St. John, friend of the show. She's been on. She watches
Kirsty.
most weeks. She's awesome, fantastic bookkeeper. Right, sorry, we've waffled on long enough about our theme tune and our names.
Sorry.
It's all about you, Nick. Nick, it's all about you.
About me. For
Nick,
once.
who is you?
So I'm Nick. I'm an alcoholic. And I'm joking. So I'm Nick. I work in security, but outside of security, I do a lot of other things, which I call them hobbies for now.
Right.
But it's something that I'd like to make a career out of.
Interesting.
Yeah, comedy, right?
Comedy, writing, all that kind, and podcasting as well, which we still need to go a long way with that. So yes, so all of that stuff.
But I'm a little bit aware of your personal situation. That's kind of taken a backseat because you have 3 young children, correct?
I have 3 wonderful, gifted children who.
Which one's your favourite?
None. I love them all the same. But there's no favourite.
Good answer.
My wife would call me a liar, but I know the truth.
Cool. Okay, so how long have you worked in security?
Oh, I've been in security now for over 10 years.
Is it true?
Go on.
Sorry, please continue.
Over 10 years now.
Is it true you've got to be hench to work in security? Because you're a pretty big dude.
No, I'm quite lucky that I have
the henchness,
the look of a security guard.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, it's all about having common sense, which is a superpower. But it's also, being smart and being observant. It does come in handy if you look intimidating and you're quite bulky. Yes, it does come in handy, but that was security in the 80s and 90s. Now, unfortunately, and I'll say unfortunately, as a key word here, it is a little bit different now.
Unfortunately.
Okay. What?
If you're not you carry a clipboard though, right? And that carries the same kind of level of gravitas as being massive. Is that right?
Well, I don't carry a clipboard. No.
You don't need to, mate, if you're massive.
I mean, other people do. I just stand at the front door and just look, not look intimidating. People come up to me for help and I help them and stuff like that. But I'm very lucky that I work in an environment now where I don't have to deal with as much trouble. Before there was a lot of issues in other places. But it's a part of the job. To be a security guard is believe it or not, it's never that simple, because a lot of people would look at security and go, "Oh, all they do is sit there or stand there and do nothing." That's actually not the case. We have to always be not on edge, but we have to sort of keep an eye out all the time, and we also have to be careful with what we say.
Yeah. Why so careful with what you say?
Well, in one of the jobs that I had, I won't name no names. Dale might know, but I won't name no names. I had one job where it was, say, after COVID, 2021, 2022, this certain place I was working at ended up doing a ticket system, which caused nothing but headaches, but we did it anyway. So I was on the crowd control because I'm quite loud and bubbly, and people were coming up to me asking all the questions. What I would tend to do is people ticket holders, I would make a loud announcement. I'll be like, ladies and gentlemen, could you just line up along there, please? You'll be able to come in very soon. That's all I was doing. I had no trouble, no complaints from no one. One of the managers at this certain place came up to me and said, please be careful with the kind of language you're using. So I'm standing there now, and I'm like, what language am I using? And it
Swahili.
For like 5-10 minutes, it baffled me. And normally I'd let things go, but this one, I was like, did I swear by? I can sometimes swear by accident, but I know
happens to the best of us, Nick. Happens to the best of us.
It happens. I've got 3 kids, so I do it all the time by accident. So I then went up to my manager. I went, what language am I using? And then he turned around and went, be careful when you're saying ladies and gentlemen. I went, are you having a laugh? So I got really annoyed, and I was slightly unprofessional with my reaction. But when he said that to me, I got the radio and my pass. I went, here you go. And I walked off, and I went to have my break. And this guy was stressing because he didn't know what he was doing. But it's like, I had no complaints. I was absolutely fine. So that's what I mean. I mean, I say ladies and gentlemen anyway. I don't care. To this very day, I say ladies and gentlemen. Like, I don't care, so some people have to be careful with what they say, but I don't. I just, it's all about being nice, being respectful, and security, again, is slightly customer service these days as well, which can also be very hard work.
Have you ever had to physically lift and or throw someone?
I've had a few times, not dramatically. Not, I wouldn't
say. Of course,
say,
no, not dramatically. It's not like WWE, like
I mean, in my head, I've toe slammed so many people. I won't lie to you. I drop kicked so many people. We did. For example, we've had a number of homeless people coming into certain areas, and again, that's a tricky one, because at the end of the day, they are still human beings. They're not just trash. There's a homeless people that can't be helped. One second. Go and sit over there. Sorry.
The joys of parenting and summer holidays, people. It is what it is. So this is the beauty of FM. We come at you raw, bruv. There's no editing. The kids are around sometimes. It is what it is. All right. So
it's actually my fault, because I've got to bribe them with biscuits, but I can do that after the show. So so we had homeless people come in, and because I'm quite, believe it or not, there's humans at the end of the day. Homeless people are not animals. They're not.
For a minute, I thought you were going to say, believe it or not, I'm quite nice. I was like, bro, I know you.
I can be nice. No, I can be nice.
I don't even.
No. If I'm being paid right, I can be nice. In fairness,
mate, morality should be not linked to how nice you are and how much you get paid. That's not how that works. So it's supposed to be nice all the time, Nick.
Really? No.
What's wrong with you?
No. So there was this one point where me and this other security guard needed to lift up this homeless guy and just not chucked him out, but place him outside of the building.
Removed.
Yeah, because it was a little bit drunk. It was calling me everything under the sun. Some things I was laughing at, and I shouldn't have been laughing, but there were, because I think with security as well, you have to be thick-skinned. You are going to have insults thrown at you. So, I've literally been called, I won't repeat it, but I've literally been called everything under the sun.
Let's zoom in for some serious questions here.
Wife. That's what my people.
What kind of training do you receive as a security guard? Because you said, like you mentioned, it's kind of like customer service. Do you receive customer service training? Do you receive man handling training? To make sure everyone's safe. What training do you get?
So a long time ago, we did this thing called SIA training. And before we used to do the training to get the actual card, and then to renew it, all we have to do is apply for it again, and it comes through the door. But it's all changed now. So every 3 years, we have to do a top-up training, which frustrates me, because when you go to the top-up training, it's so basic level training. Training that, not to sound cocky, but training that we should all know anyway. I've literally just done my top-up training December last year, and I passed with flying colours. And not to sound cocky, I knew I was going to anyway. And the problem with that is some old school security, good old school security guards has failed their top-up training because they still live in the 90s. So it's quite sad when you see these old school security guards fail the training because they've got that what's the word I'm thinking of? They've got
mentality.
Yes, off early 2000, the 1990, early 2000s, they lose their license for good, and it's
those are the good years. Those are the years when you could have your nightstick, crack someone over the head, and get away with it, right?
Oh yeah, baseball bat by the door. Yeah,
I'm joking, obviously.
Okay, so me too. Yeah, me too.
The following question might have already been answered by our conversation already, but like, what is the biggest misconception that civilians have about security? What do you think the biggest misconception is?
They think that we have absolute power and authority like the police, and we haven't. We really haven't. We can place you under citizen's arrest, never works, so there's no point doing it. And also, they automatically think that you know absolutely everything about the world. So
really?
When they ask you a question about something so random and you don't know the answer, they look at you and go, well, you're security, you're supposed to know.
Wait. So what questions do you get where someone's asked you and you think they're just having a laugh by asking you, thinking you should know? Can you give me an example?
So I had this one person. I need to be careful with what I'm going to say now because it was to do with the play. I had this one person ask me where a certain thing was in this place where I worked. Now, this place where I worked didn't have it. It was in France.
Right.
So this guy came up to me and went, well, how do you get to France? I was like, I'm too busy.
Bruv, that's not your job. How do you get to France?
I went, I'm too busy for this. So I just
travel agent.
Really? Exactly. So I just turned around and went, I don't know. I could have gave him something, but I was like, mate,
go that way.
Yeah. I'm in France. I'm in London. I don't know. And then he went, oh, but you should know how to get there. So I just turned around and went, like, it's like telling you to breathe. Do you know how to breathe? Like, don't
Google it, mate.
Yeah, Google it. And it's not my. And because this certain thing in this building wasn't here, it was my fault. It was the work's fault. It was London's fault. Oh yeah, it was. And again, I'm at that point. I'm married. Everything's my fault, so I'm used to it. I'm like, okay, cool. It's my fault, and I just cracked on with what I was doing. So, yeah, a lot of people think that with security, you should know everything. That you have high authority, and the moment you do question someone, that's when you shouldn't have authority. And basically, it's I mean, funny enough,
sounds like a no-win situation.
It's a catch-22. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
I'm gonna jump into the comments real quick, and then we'll go for a Tony question.
Yeah.
First of all, Kirsty St. John, Tony, where's your chocolate background? That's not my nickname, by the way. That's.
I have moved house, Kirsty. So I'm no longer in my office in my old house. I'm in my office in my new house, and it hasn't had the decorating treatment yet because we have other priorities. So it'll be a while before we replicate what was in the old place, but it will be different. It won't be a chocolate background this time. So it's gone, and it's gone for good. So.
Gonna give Debbie Hale's comment a read, and then we'll go for a Tony question. Debbie, as usual, is just talking common sense. Debbie Hales, do training needs analysis first to only have to do the gaps in your training? No gaps, no training needed. I completely agree, but that's not how we do things in most businesses or organizations. They make you do the managed training over and over and over and over and over and over again. So
from what I've been told. Because that kind of comes back to your question that you asked me earlier about customer service training. That all depends on the company that you're working with. So you do the basic SI training, and then it depends on what company that you apply for, that you work for. Then it's down to them to give you whatever training that they think that you might need. So, yeah.
Tony, you had some some thoughts that you're going to share or questions.
Yeah, I did. There's a couple of questions off the back of one thing. Do you work with in institutions where people attend intoxicated, Nick? So like nightclubs and pubs and that sort of thing?
Yes. So my current job has got a couple of bars in the venue, and we've dealt with drunk people in the past. I've been quite lucky where I've dealt with drunk people. I've asked them to move on, and they have done. My work colleagues, and unfortunately, have had some major instance where, you know, this one person got really, really drunk, and there was not a massive fight, but basically it took 2 security guards to throw this one person out. Like, it got really, really bad, but they handled the situation really well. I remember I read the report and I checked the CCTV, and they handled it really, really well. But for me, this current job I'm in, I've not had dramatic throwouts and stuff like that. But again, funny enough, the previous job that I was in that didn't have a bar, they had a coffee bar, but they didn't have a bar. We had quite a lot of drunk people come in. And yeah, that was, again, we've had a number of times where we needed a photo.
As in they were drunk elsewhere and then wanted to get coffee to sober up because they were drunk. They made a mess of the coffee.
Well, that's what I assumed, but they just wandered in. And these wasn't homeless people either. These were genuine people. But then, sorry, speaking of drunk people and the bars and that, before I went into security, I did use to manage a wine bar. So that, yes, that I can. I don't know how long we've got, but that I could say so many stories. But I will say we did have this one incident when I was working in the bar. This woman came in straight away. She was drunk. I told my team not to serve her. So then she got getting leery. Like the bar here, she was getting leery, shouting all sorts. So we just ignored her. She left. We needed to report it to the police in the station. So this guy came in. We served him a drink. This woman that we wasn't serving happened to be his wife. She came in. She went behind the bar. I blocked her. But when all this was happening, the police officer was standing right behind them at all times. So I was very lucky that the copper was there at this time. And they ended up arresting her. He asked me if I wanted to arrest her. I was like, listen, she clearly had a bit to drink. I can't really, nothing's been damaged. It's fine. But drunk people, like, you know, we've all been drunk. I mean, I'm a happy drunk. I don't know about you guys. I can be a happy drunk. But when people get drunk, it gets violent. I'm not interested remotely. I
think people use alcohol as an excuse.
It's true.
I know it lows in inhibitions. I get that. But I think people use an excuse. Oh, I'm drunk. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did.
Because if that, you made a good point, because people that often say that knows exactly what they're doing because they're using it as
I've been drunk. I've gone to myself. No, even still in my drunken state, probably not a good idea.
Yeah,
don't do it. It's very simple. Like, I know your inhibitions are lowered, and your faculties aren't great, but I'm just like, no, there's a line I don't cross even when I'm drinking.
Yeah, which is why I always say, beyond, like, there's been times when I've had a few drinks, man, I might have said the odd joke that could be deemed offensive, and someone would try to defend me, going, "Oh, he's drunk. He doesn't know what he's saying." But I would sit and go, "No, I do know what I'm saying."
No, I did.
I say this shit sober, bro.
I wanted to offend you.
And I say to people, don't make up excuses for me. Never ever make up excuses for me.
In my younger days, my friends and I, we used to play rugby. We used to go to this particular bar, and we were really good friends with the guy on the door, whose name was Tony. And he was cracking up. Such a good guy. Like, stopped trouble when it needed to. You know, you could tell the difference between people that were having a good time and people that weren't. And I always remember this look on his face. So we were in there one Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, and we'd been drinking, and we were just, you know, pottering around, having a few beers or whatever. There was a group of ladies in their 40s and 50s, I would say, sitting on a table, and the wine was disappearing, and volume was gradually escalating, and they were like okay, sort of kind of within themselves, but you could feel it was kind of maybe not going in a good direction. And the chap behind the bar went up to them and said, "Look, I'll serve you another round, but we're going to call time after that because, you know, things are escalating a little bit." So they didn't take particularly kindly to this, and they argued with him a little bit, and he was like, no, sorry, right, fine. So they finished the drinks, and then one of the ladies came to the bar and said, like, we want more drinks. And he was like, I'm sorry, like, we've had this conversation, you're not having any more drinks. So she was not very happy. So he had, you know, like the glass steamer things, the plastic trays. He'd taken out the freshly kind of cleaned glass tray with all the steam thing and put it on the bar because he was like having to deal with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And she decided that once she'd reached boiling point at not being served any more alcohol, she like the thing back over the bar, and I was stood with my boy kind of watching all this play out with our popcorn, and then she turned round, started to walk out the thing, and he was stood with his drink in his hand. She slapped, I think he was smirking at her, she slapped the drink out of his hand, so his drink shattered everywhere, and stormed out the front of the bar. And I just always remember Tony's face going, well, that escalated, didn't it?
But who are these people who think they can get away with that, though? That's not how you behave. That's just not how you behave. It's ridiculous.
The most funny thing is, like, if someone refuses you a drink and you say, well, why? They don't have to tell you why. It's actually down to the pub or wherever you're drinking. They don't. But again, unfortunately, we do live in a country full of entitlement. I'm just saying. It is full of entitlement. So as soon as you say no, they'll be like, well, why? It's like, well,
it's my human rights to drink wine.
I've heard that. That haunts me. Them words, human rights, haunts me. Because yes, we've all got human rights, but that doesn't give you an excuse to be an idiot.
I'm pretty sure getting alcohol, drinking wine and getting drunk is not a human right. There are things like, right to safety and right to water and right to shelter, but wine is not one of those rights. No. Nick, really important question for you. Really important question. If you could punch one fictional character in the face and get away with it with no judgment, no repercussions, who are you punching? Square, pow, right in the kisser. Boom!
Just one.
Just one. You're going to pick one fictional character.
What? This like asks. Wow. Wow. Wow, you really caught me off guard there, Dale.
Good.
Because there's like loads. Oh, no.
Say it.
No,
I'll give you some examples. We've had Peppa Pig. I picked some characters from Star Trek before. We've had a non-fictional character. We won't go there.
I know already who I want to punch.
Go on, who's it? I don't know who that is.
Blippy. It's a child entertainer.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone. Yeah. And I blame my son's nursery.
Blippy or old Blippy?
I didn't know there was an old or new Blippy, but there was one Blippy, which, funny enough, I did find out it was there was some controversial thing about this certain Blippy, which I never knew about until. So I never liked him from the get-go, and then someone else told me about this controversial thing. I went, oh, there must be a reason why I didn't like this guy. But there's something about him that I wasn't really fond of. And my son, who used to always ask me, I'm like, oh, no, it's broken today. Let's put something else on. We don't have Blippy on in this house.
No, we don't have it on in our house either. We have a lot of other things that are like that type of children's age group, but not that. No.
Yeah. We don't. Yeah, Blippy's one of those. I can't.
Pretty sure he sold that YouTube channel to Netflix or something for an astonishingly large amount of money.
I've heard.
Like, anymore.
Have you heard about the whole controversial thing?
Yeah, I think we should steer away from it. Yes.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm guessing what it is, but we're not going to talk about it.
Mate, whatever your guess is, it won't be that. I promise you.
Like, I love a little bit of controversial stuff, but not like that.
We'll talk after the live. Look at Debbie. Look at Deborah. I'm gonna use Deborah, and I'm not supposed to. But I'm going to look at Deborah causing beef. Non-fictional would be so much more fun. No, Deborah, it wouldn't, because this show might get big one day, and what I can't have is a list of celebrities who got upset because people have said their real names.
Okay, can I just say, what about dead celebrities?
Go on then. Which dead celebrity do you want to punch?
Oh, you want to ask me first?
Yes,
okay. One dead celebrity I'd like to punch.
Mine's Hitler. He's very famous. Done.
I was about to say Hitler. I was about to say Hitler, but that's fine.
It's a safe answer, isn't it?
Yeah, to save on. Yeah, Hitler's a bad man. Yeah.
Naughty.
I'm going to say Hitler because there's a lot more, but I still need to be careful with what I'm going to say. So, yeah, there's a lot more.
You haven't said yours yet.
Oh, can I not just go with your answer, Dale?
No, you can't.
You know what? Henry VIII. He was a bad man.
Tony, which
Four
dead
wives.
person would you punch?
I'm not. I don't want to go into this. I feel.
Look,
Really
man,
bad
I'm not saying you dig up their corpse. What I'm saying is this
No,
person's already
absolutely
dead,
not.
and you go back in time, you give them a little 1-2, no repercussions. So you wouldn't do Stalin or Mussolini or
Pol Pot.
there we go. See, it wasn't so hard. We would just pick evil people.
Wasn't so hard. Yeah.
They're pulling teeth from you people. Come on. Right. Nick, would you like a serious question about your work and hobbies? Would you like a Tony question, which is like a fantastic kind of build up a question, or would you like a silly question?
Oh, you asking some good questions. That's a good question in itself. Let's have like a silly question or fun question. Why
Right.
not?
Now, if I remember correctly, you're not like vegan or vegetarian, right?
No.
Good. If you could eat any animal for the rest of your life, forsaking all other animals, what animal are you choosing? Not one particular cut of meat, just the actual animal itself.
My mind just went somewhere, but I won't say it.
Don't say people. That's
I
weird.
have to. I'm gonna say a cow. I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're never having chicken nuggets again. You're having bacon again, but
That's fine.
cow, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
They're probably big in America on beef bacon.
I'd
You don't see
give it a
much
go.
over here, but
I'd give it a go.
Yeah,
That's quite good. I do like my chicken though. I do like my chicken. That's a
You
tough
said
one.
cow.
I know. Oh yeah.
Immediate buyer's remorse.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with cow. Why not? You can do a lot with cow, I think.
Debbie's just Googled the controversy with Bippy. We'll talk about it later when we're not live.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
Debbie, again, come on. There's always that friend you want to punch at some point. Yeah, it's usually Nick for me, but there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's always that friend. And he's
I-
sober saying that, so he ain't drunk.
I want to take a swing at you. You're bigger than me. That's how this works. Pecking order. You don't hit the person bigger than you. This is very, very simple. I wish more people knew this.
Well,
Right?
well,
I
I
do
bet
that.
Nick does as well, yeah.
they often say you always go for the biggest person to gain respect from other people.
Wow, I'm sorry you have to go through that, dude. I'm a scrawny
I
dude.
think.
Yeah, I'm a victim of bullying. I'm joking. I'm not. I'm
A victim of bullying. All right, let's talk about your comedy aspirations. Because before
Yeah.
you had children, you had hobbies and fun and podcasts and comedy. And I've seen some
I
of your
had a
comedy.
life. Yeah.
You had a life, yeah. It's pretty good. So, okay, first and foremost, can you describe what kind of comedian you are / were?
The kind of comedian that I like to think I am, and that I would like to be, is
A funny one, yes.
a funny-
I'm sorry, that's harsh. That was so harsh.
No, that was quick for
I
you.
just love getting heckled. Yeah.
No, I will say that is very quick for Dale, and he often hears that a lot. I will say I think the kind of comedy that I tend to do is observational. I have a dark sense of humor. The likes of Ricky Gervais are my hero. Ricky Gervais, Dave Chappelle, all those kind of comedians are comedians I like to look up to. But unfortunately, I'm not of the funniest person that you'll ever meet. There's a lot of work that still needs doing. I think you have to have the right amount of writing. You've got to be very clever in your writing when it comes down to comedy. So again, I'm very amateur. I've got a long way to go.
What's the best gig you ever done? Wait, like, you did it, the crowd were on point, you were on point, everyone laughed, you smashed it. What's the best gig you ever done?
The best gig I've done was in Catford, South London. Me and my family were there, and basically me and my family were the only white people in the audience. And this is what I've learned. Most of the audience was 98% of black people. And I will say my best audience are normally black people. I don't know why. I never knew why. But then I've learned the comedy that I tend to do is aimed at my mother. So me and my mum used to have a good relationship where I would take the mick out of her. She'll take the mick out of me. And I always wondered why most of the audience who are black people really like my stuff. But then I've learned by a number of people, one of my friends come up to me when if I ever said what you said about my mum, he would get a beating. So they kind of laugh at that because of the relationship that they had with their mum. They would sit and go, I would never dream of joking around about something like that, but you've got bottle, you can do that. So that's quite interesting. You learn a lot about the audience as well. So
was your mum in the? Because you said your family, was she in the audience when?
Yeah, she was in the audience. Yeah, she had a great time.
Heckling you from the stand.
She was actually. She helped. She did echo me at one point, and then I not echoed back, but I answered back, and we worked quite well, me and my mum, at that night in this comedy club. Yeah, it was really well, and I will say Catford was definitely one of my favourite gigs.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, because again, I was the only white comedian there as well. So yeah, it was quite nice to be the token white guy. I won't lie, like I didn't feel as threatened, you know.
Debbie asked a good question. I'm going to ask it to everybody. Me and Tony can
Really,
answer it too.
Really?
What's your favourite joke of all time? What's your favourite joke of all time?
What said from other comedians or
anyone that you've written to from other comedians? That has to be about PG-13 because again, my work is connected to this show in some extent.
Of course,
so
yeah.
Don't get me fired. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a really tricky one because I don't do soft jokes. I don't.
Oh, right.
So one of my so I love Tommy Cooper. Yeah, I think he's one of my and one of my favorite jokes of his is his wife come up to him one day and said, "Tommy, I'm feeling homesick," and he was like, "Well, what do you mean you're already at home?" She went, "Yeah, no, I'm sick of it." That was for me. That's one of my favorite. Like that's a very clean joke.
I've got two. Right. So one is Airplane, right? Surely you can't be serious. I'm serious and don't call me Shirley. The wordplay on it is classic. This is one. This is me being really smug. It's a dad joke I came up with the other day, right?
Yeah.
Because my daughter loves unicorns. I said, "What do you call a unicorn with diarrhea?" She said, "I don't know, Daddy. What do you call him? A poonicorn." And she hated it because it's terrible. It's terrible. It's a choice. I know it's bad. It's a dad joke. Tony, what's your?
I think my 3-year-old would go, "Oh, Dad!" If I did that, she's really like me contributing in any way towards the arts. So like if I sing or dance, she's just like, "Stop it! Stop it!"
So the best thing about me with dancing is I'm an okay dancer. I can keep the beat. I can do a few moves. And my daughter has seen me do this, right? But when I dance around her, I deliberately do dab dancing. So, Daddy, I know you can do better. I was like, I know you know I can do better, but I do mad dancing anyway.
Holding you to a standard that she's seen.
I will dance, but I cannot dance to save my life, but I'll get up there. And still do it. Because, life is short. Why not?
Debbie's got a joke, by the way. Sorry. What did 0 say to 8? I don't know, Debbie. What did 0 say to 8?
I know the answer to this.
Are we going to wait for the punchline or?
Do you want me to give it?
Go on then, Tony. Give us the punchline.
Nice belt.
Very funny. That was atrocious. I had to think about that one.
Steve's joke. I just said to type in.
I kind of want to say a joke that I kind of want to say a joke that might get me in trouble, but I don't know if I should say it or not.
Don't.
Don't.
Get in trouble.
It's not worth it, mate.
It's funny. It's really funny. No, I'm going to say it. Okay, hear me out. I got it on WhatsApp the other day in the lads chat, right? It was
the start of every great nothing bad ever come from that
from the last chat. No, it was like it was a picture of Prince Charles meeting Andy Burnham, and it said something like the last time Prince Charles had to say Andy Burnham was to his brother. That's gonna get me fired.
Nick, I've got a question about comedy. That was good. I didn't think that was that controversial. There's plenty left to the imagination. So comedy, am I right in thinking that comedy is like more of a sort of structured science than perhaps it comes across as when you watch it as like the receiver of the comedy who doesn't really understand like how it's put together and timings and jokes and that sort of stuff? Could you give us any insight into that?
Oh yeah, like Ricky Gervais puts it brilliantly because he actually does all that on his stage show. So he talks about the joke and then he does the punchline. And what it is, so for example, most of his comedy looks like it's aiming towards the victims, and he does a lot of jokes about serious stuff, but it actually isn't. It's actually talking about people's reactions to it. and it's very clever as well. So I made this joke once about, so basically I was at this gig and I did this joke once about when my mum was pregnant with me, she was going to have an abortion. Now, back in those days, you know, my mum told me this from, I think, on my 18th birthday, worst birthday ever. She told me this on my 18th birthday. And I made a joke about that. And I made a joke about, you know, oh, I'm so good in life, even abortion couldn't kill me, or stuff like that. That's the kind of, you know, jokes that I was saying. After this certain gig I did, this woman come up to me and she was so offended. And I went, well, what are you offended about? Oh, you were taking the mick out of abortion. You don't. I went, I wasn't taking the mick out of abortion. I wasn't taking the mick out of women having abortions or stuff like that. I was actually taking the mick out of myself and what my mum said to me about you. But that's the science behind it. I was taking the mick out of myself, not other people. So, yeah, to answer that, there's a lot of science behind comedy, and unfortunately, people that understand comedy will see that. People that don't understand comedy and will get offended easily will never see that pattern.
Sorry, Tony, you're about to ask something. On.
Yeah, my wife and I went to see Josh Widdicombe, and he was doing like a pre-tour of his new material. Yeah. So he said, like, basically kind of did like some of his standard jokes that he's done previously in it. And then he was trying new jokes, and he was like, so the tickets were cheaper, and like this was kind of part of the, you know, what you're coming to see. So the expectation was there. And I found it absolutely fascinating to sort of like watch a comedian doing that, like sort of beta testing their new material, because he actually had like a notepad on the stage with him, and then he did a joke, and then he would kind of like go off and go like, oh, that didn't work quite so well, did it, guys? And then he kind of like try it again in a different way, and then he had other stuff that came to him while he was doing it, and he was like, oh, that wasn't in the original script, but I'm going to write that down because that's way better than the thing that I was going to do. I always remember like listening to Jimmy Carr talking about Sean Locke, and he said that Sean Locke was like, they all like had such high respect for him. Yeah, obviously he's gone on now, but they said like he was brilliant with getting comedians to improve what they were doing. So, like, and he did it in a really nice way because he was obviously just like brilliant at it and been at it for ages. But he said like he would sit with them and be like, that's a great joke, but you didn't deliver it as well as you could have done. Try this. Make that pause bigger, like, you know, the punchline intonation wasn't quite right, and like and really like hone the craft of the delivery rather than it being just like stand up and tell jokes, you know, like a lot more actually to it than just being a funny person, right? Yeah.
I've actually, so someone who I know that's on the comedy circuit had the very good luck of actually meeting Sean Locke a long time ago. And he was saying, like, you know, he actually went out his way to sit down with this guy and went through his jokes, went through his comedy set. Because he was at, I think Sean Locke was in the audience at one of the comedy gigs. And I've heard nothing but good stuff about Sean Locke. Because the thing is, as well, he wasn't a cocky comedian. He just sort of said things that everyone thought. But it was never rude or disrespectful, I don't think. Like, you know, yes, he used to take the mick out of celebrities, but I think the likes of Sean Locke and Jimmy Carr are just incredible comedians because, yes, they make people laugh, but they also talk about serious stuff in life.
Yeah.
I don't know 100%. Whether you see the clips that Jimmy Carr does that he shows. Like, he would talk to people in the audience and people that went through absolute horror, but then he'll talk about it with them and then he'll crack the joke. And them kind of comedians, they will never get cancelled. And I know a lot of this cancel culture thing, these kind of comedians will never get cancelled because they're clever as well. They know how not to get cancelled.
He does his, I've seen Jimmy Carr, and he does like, at least the show I saw was the first half of it was like kind of quite structured. And then literally the second half of it was he puts like a number, I think was it him? It's a number up on the screen and you can text things into the number. Yeah. And he does the whole second half of the show done completely like, I mean, maybe he's planted some people in the audience, I hope not, but like just done completely ad lib. And you can just see how much he loves like the in the moment craft of comedy. And like that is a hell of a thing to expose yourself to, like I've got to be off the cuff funny. Like whatever they're going to throw at me, like he tackles all of his historic tax stuff is like isn't he? And it's like if I take fucking I was just just in awe of his handle of his craft, like to be able to do that, to stand there for half the show.
Matt Rife is another comedian who's like that. Matt Rife is very good with the crowd control and the crowd work. Like he's very, very good at it. Nick, question for you: do your comedy hobby worlds and security worlds collide? Can you ever get away with a little bit of banter on the job, or is it not allowed because you've got to be serious the whole time?
It depends on who you're working with, I think. So I'm very lucky to be with certain team members that aren't as sensitive. I mean, I don't go out my way to make inappropriate jokes, but they actually do. Again, I'm not naming that. Like some stuff that one of my friends at work says.
Yeah, one of my friends. Yeah, got it.
But once that away from everyone, that's fine. You've got to say it. But then again, because I'd like to do a lot of writing. I don't know whether Dale might mention that. I like to do a lot of horror, sci-fi writing as well.
No, I've not mentioned anything to make you look good at all. I've not done
That's quite clear about not doing that.
I've made it very, very clear. Like I'm not bigging up in any way, shape, or form.
First, but even then, the whole publishing thing there, like that's a dog industry. I think all these industries are very dog, and you just have to have that
do security guards have to be brave? Like, so if some crap goes down at whatever venue and the security guards are there, are you guys run into it like the police are supposed to, or are you not obligated to do it because you're security, right? You're not police. Like you're not defending people per se. All I know is I couldn't be a security guard because I'm not running into danger for anybody. Maybe my family. Maybe.
Before I had kids, whenever there was trouble, I used to be like, "But no!" and I used to get involved. Yeah, before that. But since having kids, I've kind of taken a step back and go, "You crack on with it now." Like you have to be smart.
Do you want to hear something really funny, Nick? That's really a bit dark. If you do get killed in duty, you're probably worth more to them dead, like life insurance.
Don't tell my wife that.
Mortgage gets paid off. They get some money in the bank. You're worth more to them dead than you are alive, buddy.
Dale, you're friends with my wife. If I find out she knows that, I'm blaming you. Okay?
Mate, if you find out it's too late, you'll be dead.
And
I'm very wary now. With security, I think you have to have the confidence. It's not about being brave. You've got to have the confidence to go and confront these certain issues without making it 10 times worse. Right.
So taking it back a step, like let's go serious for a second. Like a police officer, if they're at a venue, an event, and there's hundreds of people, and someone goes, he's got a knife. The police officer is duty bound to go towards the person with a knife. They've got to ignore their human instinct to run and flee, and have to. Is the same obligation on security guards or not? Or do you guys, or are you guys that way because actually you are naturally protective people? Actually, you will try and. Am I making sense with my question?
Yeah, no, you are making sense. I don't get paid enough to do that kind of stuff.
Neither do police officers.
No, true. Police officers don't get paid, but also, I'm not that. I've got to be careful. This is a serious crowd.
I'm not that brave.
No, I'm not that silly. You got to think. Like, if someone comes in to my workplace with a knife or a shotgun, I ain't running towards them. I'm running that way. Like, I care about my life. I care about watching my kids grow, and I will try and help as I can. But sometimes getting too involved will just make everything
it worse. Yeah, I can imagine there's a sort of bell curve of like the ideal time is to sort of stop it before it happens, right? And I'm sure you can see it happening, like because you know what it's like when you're a parent, right? You can feel the ambient atmosphere is. A child is about to get hurt because they are being silly or they're doing something, and like just feel it, and then it happens, and you're like, try not to say I told you so, but I definitely told you so, right? It must be similar when especially if you're dealing with people who are intoxicated. Even as a lay person, you can feel you're standing in a queue trying to get in a nightclub or something when we were all a bit younger and nightclubs were a thing. You can feel the antisocialness behind you without even looking round. You can feel the atmosphere change and go, something's about to kick off. I can feel somebody's annoyed about something somewhere, right? And then there's probably like, it's already kicked off. like I can get involved now and it's going to get even worse, or like, you know, I can, yeah.
Again, it goes back to saying you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah,
because there could be a group of people there that are drunk, a little bit loud, but that could be fine. So you think, okay, fine, I won't give a. But then I've seen it with my own eyes. Things can happen in 0.1 seconds. And going back to what Dale was saying about, you know, would you run forward? Because I'm a parent, I think if someone did come into a venue or any venue with a knife and there was a child right there, I think personally, I would run and sort of protect that kid or battle that kid, battle that person, so that kid is safe. Does that make sense? I think because I just think as a parent, like if I can imagine that was my child and my child's alone and someone's there with, I think I'd forget about all my security training and I would just rugby tackle that guy or woman if I have to, just because it's a parent instinct, not a security guard instinct. I think it's a parent instinct. But if I know that there ain't no children in the venue and just adults, and this person's walking in with a shotgun, mate, you guys are adults, you know what to do.
We're all people.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just run.
I want to ask you another serious question then. Hopefully it's not too deep. Can you think of a situation where you've been in where it's actually been genuinely scary? Like, because I'm guessing most nights or most times you're on a venue, it's fine. But there must have been, I've seen one or two situations where you're like, oh, wow, I was not ready for this. Are you willing or able to talk about that? And if not, then don't worry.
There have been some stuff. I can...
if you can't say, that's fine.
No, actually, I can say. There was this one incident where, not in my current job, in one of my other jobs, so one of my old jobs is a very, very popular London landmark. And this one day there was a fight between these two people on our work land, and one of them pushed this guy over, and this guy's head cracked on the floor, and there was blood everywhere, to the point where the air ambulance needed to come out. Me and these guys were dealing with this with the air ambulance, was trying to sort everything out. So much so people had the phones out, and I noticed I was shouting at some people for getting them. It's like, where's the dignity? You know, that kind of stuff really annoys me. But that was one. You saw the blood, you heard their head cracking on the floor, all that stuff. There is also another incident that took place that I'm happy to talk about. So basically, and this is where mental health comes into it. And I got to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to talk about this, because most people know about it. But
to be fair, I didn't really give you the opportunity. I asked you a question not knowing where it was going to go. So there's a slight difference.
That's fine.
That's all I'm
so,
but please continue.
So this one time in my old job, I spent the day being a first aid responder. So we take turns being the first aid responder. And I had this one call that one of my work colleagues was in the room and she was convinced that she could hear voices. So she was having a bit of a breakdown, bless her. So I took her into the first aid room. I was with her for almost six hours. 6 hours. She told me all her life stories. And it felt like I knew her like this. I mean, I knew her anyway, but not like this. And she told me all her life stories. So I then said to her, listen, take 2 weeks off work. I'll talk to the manager. You take 2 weeks off work. Have a break. Get you the help that you need. Now, you have to remember as well, we never had any of this training. We never had mental health training. Yeah. So I was dealing with this without the common sense, but also you do need the training for this kind of stuff. So husband picked her up, and 2 weeks later she was due to come back into work. This one day I came back into work and everyone was avoiding me. Everyone was really quiet with me. It was weird. Like, it was like, well, something happened, but no one's talking to me about this. The day this person was due to come to work, she actually killed herself. And I will say stuff like that will stay with you for the rest of your life, because I know it's not my fault, but I was the one to say, take 2 weeks off, have a break, go and get the help that you need, you know. And what was really bad about, and this was when the place started to go downhill, not one manager from this team asked me if I was okay. Other people did. My work colleague asked if I was okay, but not one manager. And for me, that was my eyes opened massively, because the next day they found a replacement for her. So my eyes opened a hell of a lot because of that incident. Because it's like, listen, we're just a number at the end of the day. Like, we are easily replaceable, regardless of what job you have. You know, we are easily replaceable. So that was one instant that will stick with me forever. So it'd be a down on the dumps with this.
Don't apologise. I asked you a question that leads to that kind of answer.
Like
so
that,
it's not
that
apologise.
stuck with me, and my wife, who was then my girlfriend, was a massive support. Like, you know, everyone who I told to, like, they couldn't believe it. Not one manager asked me if I was okay. Not, you know, no. That's when mental health training, because I suggested it. Mental health training then came into this particular building, and the person that took control of that took all the glory to himself, which, again, that's fine, because everyone else knows the truth, if that makes sense. So that, for me, that was one of the incidents that would always stay with me. You know, I think I'd rather have someone collapse on the floor in front of me than to do that kind of thing again. Because, again, I know it's not my fault, but it's like I told her to take that time off. If I didn't tell her to take time off, would she still be here? Like, all these questions will go through your head. And again, this is why I get annoyed when people sit there and go, "Oh, security, you just stand there and do." No, we take on a hell of a lot. And there's other security guards that takes on more than what I do. Like, you look at these security guards that does the nightclubs and the pubs. You know, for me, they deserve to get paid way more than what they're getting now, because they're putting their lives on the line. I know someone who was actually shot at in a nightclub in central London, and luckily he survived. He got shot in the leg, and his wife said, "No more. You ain't doing this job no more." So for people who sit there and go, "Oh, security people just stand there and they do nothing," trust me, we might look like we're doing nothing, but in here it's going 10 times fast. Like, we're looking at everything around us. There's no such thing as a lazy security guard. There's a bad security guard and a good security guard. There's no such thing as a lazy guard. Sorry, I'm waffling.
Fair enough. It's cool. Waffle away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
That's a sorry tale, and must have been pretty tough to deal with.
Yeah, no, it was very tough. And again, this happened around November, December time. So I remember I was when I was told, I went on position, and the external bit had Christmas carols, and one of them was Silent Night, and it's one of my favorite Christmas carols. And I'll be honest, it takes a lot for me to cry, but I stood there with tears in my eyes. I was like, damn, like, someone has just lost their daughter and wife and sister, and yeah, that was a tough experience for me, that one.
Okay. Opposite question.
Yeah.
What are the funniest moments you've had on the job? There must be some really hilarious, ridiculous.
While you think about that, Nick, I've just sort of feeling like, in my mind, I've got, you know, like Ricky Gervais did like extras.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, he was gone the sets. Like, I have like in my head like a sort of similar skit type comedy, but with like the security guard and the interactions with the people that they deal with, like that.
It's exactly it is exactly that. One of my old work colleagues who used to work it, she works somewhere else now, but she even sat there and made that comparison once. Funny enough, like, it's never a dull day. It's never a broad. There's always something going on, and funny enough, I have got an idea for a comedy script that I'm working on that is based on what I've dealt with in the past. But yeah, it literally is like that. Extras is one of my favorite shows, so it's definitely like that. But to Dale's question, the funniest one is I was bag searching. I was on a bag searching position, and this couple, bless them, must have had a really nice weekend away in London. So I just said, "Madam, could you just put your bag on the table? I need a bag search." This guy started laughing. This woman's face went red like a tomato. I put two and two together. I was like, "Listen, It's fine. Open your bag. I've seen it all before. Like, it's absolutely fine. This guy just keeps laughing and laughing. Yeah. So she opened it, and I was like, wow, you are really in for a romantic weekend, ain't you? I won't tell you what was in this bag.
We all
but
know what was in that bag.
We all know
let me just say, it was like, it must have been like the prequel of 50 Shades of Grey. I was like, what is this? But yeah, she was really embarrassed. But I was like, listen, it is what it is. You crack on, enjoy. So yeah, that's one of the funniest things that has happened.
Tony, do we
Yes.
have time for quickfire, or should we just leave it here and get Nick to leave us with his pearls of wisdom?
Oh, I can make you squeeze in a quick fire if you're game, Nick. Right.
Yeah, why
let
not?
me just. So what I will say is that in order for us to squeeze in the quick fire, it will need to be quick fire. So I have a list of questions of which I'll ask you around about 10.
Yeah.
And if you can just give me your answer, no context required, just your immediate thoughts.
Yeah.
Off we go. Right. What is one skill you wish you had but you don't?
Flying an airplane, being a pilot. I'd love
Nice. Favorite country that you've ever visited?
that. Scotland.
Ah, nice. I spent a lot of time at there.
Mm.
With hindsight, I think I know the answer to this one, but with hindsight, what alternative career would you have pursued if you weren't in security?
Comedy / writing. That's the kind of thing I'd like to be in.
What is your favorite food?
You've seen the size of me. That's a difficult question. I love a good kebab.
Yeah.
A good, juicy kebab.
Number
not?
one, amazing. If your favorite podcast?
My favorite podcast. Oh wow! Can I say this show?
You can.
No.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
I've watched it. I've watched it and I've seen it. Yeah, it has to be this one, which is why I was eager to come on.
There we go. That's so kind of you to say. What's your favorite film?
Sweeney Todd, Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
Yeah.
Tim Burton, legend.
Who are your celebrity lookalikes?
I got told Rug and Bone Man because of the beard, apparently.
Okay. Yeah.
The other one, if it was without the beard, is Harry Hill, because where I work, I have to wear a suit and I've got a white collar. I wear my beard's out and I wear glasses as well. So when my head's bald and my beard's a bit short and my glasses on, apparently it's Harry Hill. I don't see it, but a lot of people do.
You're not quite, but all I've had in my head is that you sound quite a bit like Joe Marler, the rugby player.
Oh, I've been told that as well. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not the first one. Yeah. Who's the most famous person you've ever met?
Lee Evans,
Nice.
one of my favorite comedians of all time.
And your final question: what's your special dish? Like, if you're going to cook something, like what's the thing you'd be most proud to put in front of people?
It's got to be chicken curry. Everyone, or a spag bowl or chicken curry.
Got it.
Cool.
Everyone
Thank you,
Quickfire,
Nick.
The quickfire. Yeah.
For the quickfire. Thank you for doing quickly as well, because some people don't quite get the understanding of quickfire. Not naming names. Nick, before we roll out, we usually ask the guest to finish with a pearl of wisdom. So it can be career advice, it can be some information about your job, or it can just be some positive accolade that you want to share with the viewers. And after you've finished your sentence, I hit end stream. So, Nick, what's your pearl of wisdom?
So simple, and this is for absolutely everyone on this planet. I think everyone has to remember life is for the living. Life is extremely